G'day guys, thanks for watching as always. As you may or may not know, currently the white bass run is going on. We headed to one of the local creeks to get a few while we could, and as you can see, we did catch a couple of fish, so that's good. If you hear any noise behind me, that might be the thunder and the rain, because it's pretty bad weather at the moment, but I guess that rain brings those white bass up in the creek too, so let's not complain. Now, the spot that we're fishing in this particular video is Rowlett Creek. It's a very well known spot for the white bass run. There's no secrets to it. The exact spot that I fished today was fairly close to the gun range, Rowlett gun range, but as you can see here, you'll have to share your spot with other people, especially on weekends. If you're lucky on a weekday, you might be able to get a couple of spots free, but otherwise you definitely run into other fishermen. But there's still plenty of fish to go around, so don't have to complain about that either. Now, one thing that I've done differently today than what all the other people did was actually fish with surface lures. For some reason, I don't know why, I ended up catching a lot of fish on surface lures today. Nobody else was using surface lures. It was either live bait or small crankbaits or little soft plastics, but surface lures really to go. So the first pool that I started in had a lot of small fish in it. There was a little bit of variety in there, but the biggest fish that came out of the pool weren't exactly massive for white bass standards. They were schooled up against this edge right here. You see me cast like a Craft Sammy right against the edge there. There's a bit of a deeper trench that kind of ran along it. Only 2 feet deep, but the rest of the creek was about a foot, so it made the difference. That's what where they were sitting in. And whenever the sun came out or the wind laid, I usually got a couple of bites out of that spot. So pretty cool. When it was good, it was one after the other, and then whenever the sun would hide behind the clouds or the wind would pop up, you'd miss a couple of bites. But again, no massive fish, but no less fun. Anything on the surface lure is good on my books. Again, no massive fish. That was pretty average for that particular spot in the creek. And all fish were released too, by the way. I've seen an incredible amount of white bass come out of that creek and be taken home, so figured I'd release all my fish. The fishing was a lot of fun because I've never seen them actually sit this shallow. This is in a foot of water. They would stack up in particular parts of the creek, and once you figure out where they'd hang out, you'd get a couple of fish just from that one spot. So it was good fishing. There we go, another strike. Now, unfortunately, what I figured out later was that there was a fair couple of bigger white bass hanging in the hole just downstream from where I'm fishing now. These are all big fat females. I would have loved to show you the fish that I caught out of that pool. Problem was that my battery had run out. Of course, I figured it out to the last moment. But, oh well, we got some fish on camera, so that's not too bad. One thing I will say is, in those deeper pools, it's pretty hard to get those white bass to commit to surface lures. In a foot deep of water, it doesn't really matter how deep your lure runs, obviously, because you're going to be a foot away from a maximum anyway. So, but in those deeper pools, I got 1 or 2 bites on surface lures, but I caught another 10 or 12 fish on a little jerkbait. Off the top of my head is Jackall Squirell 67. One of my favorite little jerkbaits. As you can see, I've located a couple of white bass in this section of the creek, and they're coming through thick right now. This was one of the better fish from this section of the creek, but most of the fish weren't very big. Smallest white bass for now. Hit a surface lure like a Craft Sammy. Tiny little fella, but he hit it like he was 50 pounds, so no less fun. Chuck him back. They're getting smaller and smaller now. There's a better fish. Number 11 for today. Can't complain. Beautiful. We'll let him live. Now guys, before we do end off the video, just wanted to say that I was surprised with the amount of trash that the fishermen have left behind at this creek. Do please clean up your trash. Leave the place better than it was when you arrived, so everyone can enjoy this fishing spot. If you got any questions, let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Have a good one. Cheers.